ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Get it, Giant and Ant-Man. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Hot Toys figure review on the Avengers Age of Ultron Black Widow movie masterpiece MMS 28816 scale collectible figure. If you're trying to pick this up, you can pre-order it at Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. Great looking packaging over here. I like that intense look from Scarlett Johansson. We get this nice metallic lettering right there for Avengers Age of Ultron. You can see that we get this texture right here on the A section compared to the other side. So like if you just go right there, you can hear it. And then right here. And on the side over here, you get the metallic lettering again. Then on the back, not much going on. You get the metallic Black Widow logo. And then on the bottom, it says Avengers Age of Ultron in white, Black Widow in white right up there. Lift this up, you can see the figure inside. And then on the back, you get all the people responsible for making this figure. All right, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's our brand new Hot Toys Black Widow figure out of the packaging. And I have mixed feelings about this piece. I think she has some great articulation. I will say that. That's one of my favorite parts about this figure, especially compared to the Winter Soldier Black Widow. I even think compared to previous Hot Toys Black Widow figures, I think this one has the best articulation. She does not have the best head sculpt. We're getting a reused Winter Soldier Black Widow head sculpt, which I can't understand. Just seeing pictures, the Avengers movie head sculpt looks like it's the best, so I don't see why you wouldn't reuse that one. So now it still makes me want to have that Avengers Black Widow figure. But anyway, not only do I like the articulation on this figure, she does come with some really cool accessories. I always want to read the directions before you start messing with the figure, but there's not much directions on this at all. I mean, it just basically says be careful with the figure, don't bend the joints too much or you might ruin it. Now she does come with your adjustable cradle over here, which isn't too bad on this, you know. I prefer the dynamic stand still, but this isn't shabby for a Black Widow figure. I like the plaque right there, and then this looks pretty neat. It has this kind of texture to it, so you can hear the roughness. Hear the smoothness. Kabam! Weapons! Yeah, she has these two big rifles right over here. She has her two batons, the collapsed batons. She has some extra wrist pegs, dagger or a little knife, the pistol. You get these energy effects over here, and she comes with 8 interchangeable hands. You get these fisted hands, relaxed hands, baton holding hands, and gun wielding hands. And I think all these hands are painted very well. I like them a lot. See the baton holding hand? The blue paint looks great. You get all these seams in here and everything. Really cool wrinkles and all that stuff in the sculpt. I really like these. Now getting her to hold one of the batons is very easy. I think that works out pretty well. And these batons look great. I love the blue translucent plastic. The paint's very clean on them as well. And she also has these two electric effects right here, which are more for her gauntlets, which I also like to use for the batons. So I know it wasn't really like this in the movie, but I just think it's kind of cool. Like if you just find a spot right there, and you could get her holding the baton like this. I don't know. I just think that's kind of neat looking. So I'm probably going to have her displayed with these looking like that. And she has this holstered knife over here, and it has a peg that sticks out, and you're supposed to attach this to her belt. And you can see the little spot right there. And it doesn't really stay very well. Whenever I get this thing on here, it just tends to fall off. And then same thing with the clip for her pistol. So she kind of has a little bit of that Winter Soldier syndrome where things just fall off of her. You can see the clip right over here. You can see the bullet shell. Track this back a little bit. It's spring loaded, so I think that's really cool. But yeah, this clip just comes out really easily. She has the one holster right here on her left hip for the pistol, which is great. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a holster or anything for these collapsed batons. It would have been nice to be able to place these on her back somewhere. And then she has these two big, I don't know what to call these. Were these Hydra Weapons? I can't really remember, man. I just can't. But I think they're painted really well. They're sculpted nicely. You get a little bit of articulation right here with this handle piece. This slides out right over there. I really like the attention to detail on the paint sculpt though, especially with that purple. A lot of nice sculpted detail on this. This is quite beautiful, even though I'm not very familiar with it. Even the solid black sections aren't really solid black. They have a little bit of dry brushing right over there. So yeah, these are pretty dope looking. And they are identical to each other. There's no difference between the two. So once again, the head sculpt on this doesn't really match the likeness to Scarlett Johansson as much as I'd like it to. And then getting your side-by-side comparison with the Winter Soldier head sculpt, I mean, it is the same exact head sculpt. The eyebrows are painted a bit differently though. You can see she has much more angled eyebrows over there. And then on this one, they're a little softer. So I think, you know, that makes it look a little bit more like Scarlett Johansson. And this one's looking off to the side a little bit more so than this one over here. So I do like the way this one's painted a bit more. Now the hair, oh my God, I cannot stand it. So right when you open this out of packaging, it is smushed like all the way to the side like that. And the instructions tell you you're supposed to, you know, add some water. It already has gel in it and it has product. And oh geez, I don't really want to mess with that too much. I'm not a fan of playing with hair. Yeah! I would honestly prefer plastic hair on a figure like this. I don't like messing with it, but you know, I guess it looks good as far as the way they did it, you know, with all the different hair colors in there and everything, so it looks pretty realistic, I guess. I just don't like how it looks like it's wet, or she just got out of the shower, or she just had Happy Ruth Banner lonely time. I don't know, I think it would be cool if they just skipped to plastic hair. Now the way this suit is made is a bit different compared to the Winter Soldier version, and she does have smaller breasts. I did notice that. They did pad her breast, and I gotta do this, you know. That's why you guys watch the ShartimusPrime, we get the boob comparison. But yeah, you can see this one over here, much larger breast than this one. She does have padding in here, and she does have padding on the butt too. But the suit itself actually feels very durable. It does have some stitching and everything around here, and it's not too bad. I actually think the stitching holds up quite nicely. And I like the blue sections. I actually didn't think I was going to like those blue sections, but I do like them. Then looking down over here at her belt, that looks really good. I like how it's tilted off to the side. The arms over here look great as well. I really like the gauntlets, and that fade right there with the blue paint looks really good too. I like that a lot. Now one thing I did with this figure is I had her posed, you know, with the leg all the way up, and I left it like that overnight just to see what it would do to it. And just so you guys know, I get a little bit rough with my Hot Toys figures because I'm a reviewer and I try to test the figures out for you guys. The fact is I sacrificed damaging the figures a little bit just so I could get the best review I can out there. You can see that me doing that and moving the legs around a lot, it's kind of bunched up her panties in there. Looking a little, I don't know. But yeah, you can see that, you know, this has kind of gotten a little bit weird for me posing her around a lot. But I do like the padding that they added to the nalguitas. Those are looking pretty nice. And this material over here is just much more posable than the material that we had gotten on the Winter Soldier version too. So unlike the Winter Soldier version, her legs can move up. And over here at the knees, you got to be really careful when you bend these. You can see that knee pad is starting to stretch right over there. So I don't want that to come apart. So yeah, I recommend being very, very careful with this piece. And the boots look pretty good. Get some nice dirt right there at the bottom of the boots. And just getting one last look at the back of the figure over here. So yeah, not bad. Now, as I already mentioned, I really like the articulation on this figure, but it is not without its faults. She can look up very well. I like that a lot. And she has this really cool neck joint in there too. It's very rubberized, so it allows her to look down a lot. You can see the neck kind of folding right there. I kind of want to be careful with that though. I don't know what that's going to do in the future. You can rotate the head side to side. You get nice neck pivot in there. The shoulders move outward very well. You can move them forward. She has an armpit joint that moves in and out over here. You do get some rotation at the bicep, but it's really tricky. You can bend her elbow in very nicely. I like that. That's pretty good. You get wrist rotation, and she does have a hinge that moves up and down at the wrist. She has a decent ab crunch, and there goes that little knife. You can bend her torso in that much. So I think that's a little bit of the waist crunch and the diaphragm crunch right over there, both moving to get her like that. And then bending her backwards using both the waist and diaphragm joints. Yeah, so she bends back quite a bit too, and she stays there, unlike the Winter Soldier one. You can rotate her side to side a little bit, not a whole ton, but she will stay in place, so I like that. The legs can move out very far, well, not too far. She can kick forward pretty well too. She can move back a little bit. Man, I really like that she can kick forward that much. She has the upper thigh swivel over here. She has double jointed knees, but dang, you know, bending it at 90 degrees, that's scary alone. So I don't recommend doing it more than that. I could see this kind of pulling right over here at the bottom of that knee pad. And then the ankles move down only a tiny bit. They can move up only a little bit as well. You can get rotation right here at the boot, and she does have some very subtle ankle pivot. Now, this is a 1/6 scale figure, but she's standing a little over 11 inches tall. And then here's our Age of Ultron Black Widow compared to the Winter Soldier Black Widow. And this one does look a little thicker. I like that. So, and anyway, if anybody has the first Avengers movie Hot Toys Black Widow figure and they want to do a trade for this Winter Soldier Black Widow over here, please hit me up. I'll be expecting that email in 2000 never. And here's our new Black Widow figure compared to the Hot Toys Captain America First Avenger, and we have the Hot Toys Mark 43 Iron Man. And I think the height difference between these three is perfect. Uh-oh, Civil War sandwich. America. Then here's Black Widow compared to the new Marvel Legends Mini Ant-Man. Oh, you don't see it? There it is. And then here she is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. But damn, badass Black Widow wielding these two big old guns. Yeah, just really cool character. I loved Black Widow in the Age of Ultron movie. I think that was my favorite Black Widow. Just so much story behind her, and she kicked so much ass. So I'm happy to have the Age of Ultron version of her. I'm just not happy about that reused head sculpt. But everything else, for the most part, I do like. Even though we have the padded chimbombas and the padded nalgas, I still like the figure a lot. Don't think it's the very best Black Widow out there, but still a good figure. Anyway, I hope you guys liked my review. If you did, please hit the like button. Click any of these boxes over here for more Shart in your face. I appreciate those of you supporting my channel over at the Patreon account. And also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And go to marvelousnews.com for a photo gallery of images and the latest in Marvel-related news. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.